Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope your day and your week have been going very well so far. Got a new day, which of course means a new MLB Player Prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. I have 4 MLB player props to go ahead and share with you guys in today's MLB slate. But first, before we dive into today's picks, a quick little recap of how we did yesterday. And if you couldn't tell by the thumbnail, we had a pretty solid day yesterday. Jumping on over to GuyBostonSports.com, a 3-0 performance last night. Now, we did technically hand out 4 player props. Unfortunately, Jake Irvin got voided because the game got postponed to today. Little spoiler alert, I will be running back the same player prop in today's video. So we're still going to rock with Jake Irvin under 5.5 hits just in today's video, not yesterday's. But of the 3 picks that got graded, 3-0. So really solid performance yesterday. I'm not breaking out the money gun because I don't feel like it's right to break out the money gun when we're still in the negative on the year. Normally with a performance like last week, we'd be shooting the dollar bills up in the air, but when we're still down, I don't think it's appropriate. But 3-0 last night plus 1.87 units again. We're making our way back to 500, making our way back to breaking even. Still a lot of work to be done, but we've been on a really, really solid run of late. We were 12-25 to start the year in our single bet category. We are now 26-15 since then. So we are definitely heating up. By the way, guys, if you're watching today's video, at this point, please comment heating up. We're getting there. Like I said, we had an abysmal start. 12-25 to kick off the year was awful. 26-15 since then. We're starting to turn in the other direction. We're heating up. 3-0 last night. 4 more player props in today's video. We got no time to waste, guys. Let's dive right into today's picks again. Comment heating up if you are watching today's video, and thank you for watching today's video. Wasting no time, jumping right into the outlier screen. Our first player prop in today's slate, like I said in the recap, we're going with the same pick that didn't get played yesterday because of a rain delay. We're going Jake Irvin of the Washington Nationals under 5.5 hits against the Cleveland Guardians. 3:35 p.m. first pitch. Now, I'm not going to go too in-depth here because we did talk about the same player prop with the same data literally yesterday. But just in case you guys weren't watching yesterday's video or weren't paying attention, no problem. Minus 150 on DraftKings, a little higher in the odds department. We had it for minus 135 yesterday. Odds have certainly increased so far this year. A 57% hit rate on the under for Jake Irvin. 4 out of 7 games, he's cashed the under, averaging 5.29 hits allowed per game this year. And like we mentioned in yesterday's video, 2 of the 3 games where the over cash were against the same team, the Philadelphia Phillies. So when you take the Phillies out of the equation, 4 or 5 games this year he's cashed the under, again, when not playing the Philadelphia Phillies, who have been absolutely destroying Jake Irvin this season. Not much to go off of in the head-to-head department. He did face off with Cleveland once last year on June 2nd. He did cash the under with 5 hits allowed in that game. So he does have a cash against Cleveland. A little history there between these 2 teams, but not much. You also have the insights provided by Outlier. Jake Irvin has failed to exceed 5.5 hits in 4 of his last 5 games, averaging 4.6 hits allowed over the last 5. Again, he had 8 hits versus the Phillies, which kind of skews that average up a little bit. And he's got a pretty solid matchup. Cleveland batting versus right-handed pitchers this year. They are bottom 7 in Major League Baseball in batting average, is 237, 27th in BABIP. So really good numbers across the board. It's a good matchup for a pitcher who's having a pretty solid year overall. Again, if this was the Phillies, I would not take Jake Irvin, but considering it's Cleveland, a team that has struggled hitting against right-handed pitchers this year, I think it's a pretty good player prop. Minus 150, a little high in the odds department, but I still think it's definitely worth taking a stab at here. That's our first player prop in today's slate. All right, guys, our second player prop in today's slate. We're moving on to the Dodgers-Marlins game, 6:40 p.m. first pitch. We're going Michael Conforto of the LA Dodgers under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, HRRs for short. Minus 120 on DraftKings is what we're grabbing it for. It's available on multiple sports books for varying odds. As always, guys, make sure to shop around for the best sportsbook odds available to you. And the data is very strong here. You see 9 of his last 10 games, Conforto has cashed the under, averaging 0.7 HRRs per game over his last 10 games. Go ahead and stretch the data out a little further. Last 20 games, 16 of his last 20, he's cashed the under. That's an 80% hit rate, averaging 0.85 HRRs per game over his last 20 games. And so far this year, a 72% hit rate on the under. 23 out of 32 games played, he's cashed the under, averaging 1.16 HRRs per game. He had a little bit of a decent start earlier in the year, but since then, a lot of unders pretty consistently. And even from the head-to-head department, now 5 of his last 9 matchups with the Marlins. He's cashed the under. That's a 56% hit rate, averaging 1.56 hits, runs, RBIs per game across their last 9 meetings. They played 4 times so far this year. He's cashed the under in all 4 matchups versus Miami so far this year. So pretty good numbers in the head-to-head category, especially this year where he has a 100% hit rate against the Marlins. Looking down below, the insights provided by Outlier, Michael Conforto has failed to exceed 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs in 9 straight games, averaging just 0.6 HRRs per game over his last 9. And if all that data didn't convince you guys, looking down below, it's actually still pretty good. Michael Conforto versus Cal Quantrill since 2018. I know I probably didn't say that right. Apologies, my pronunciation is awful. We know this. If you watch the videos for a while, you know I can't pronounce names for shit. Michael Conforto versus, I'm just going to call him Cal. Michael Conforto versus Cal, 10 plate appearances since 2018, just a 143 batting average. Now, the one hit was a home run off of him, but 1 hit in 10 plate appearances, 400 OBP. Not too much success there for Michael Conforto. His batting overall this year, pretty bad, 141 batting average, 60.8 WRC plus, again, not great. Versus right-handed pitchers, you do see a little bit of a decrease there from a batting average standpoint, goes from 141 to 130. And his WRC plus does increase from 60.8 to 62.6. But spoiler alert, guys, 62.6 WRC plus, not very good. And looking down below, Cal not having a very good season at all. However, versus left-handed batters, you do see a little more success. 4.60 ERA, massive decrease from his overall 8.10. His batting average allowed from 345 to 255, massive decrease. Home runs per 9, WOBA, everything across the board increases when he faces off with left-handed batters. Combine that or parlay that with the fact that Michael Conforto struggling versus right-handed pitchers and his overall numbers this year, I think it's a pretty solid player prop across the board. And for minus 120, pretty strong value as well. All right, guys, our third player prop in today's slate comes from the Rangers-Red Sox game, 6:45 p.m. first pitch. We're going Trevor Story of the Boston Red Sox under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 135 over on BetMGM is what we're grabbing it for. But it is available on multiple sportsbooks, again, for varying odds. And data is pretty solid here across the board. You see 7 of his last 10 games. Story has cashed the under, averaging 1.2 HRRs per game over his last 10 games. So far this year, a 55% hit rate on the under for Trevor Story, 18 out of 33 games. He's cashed the under for the Red Sox, averaging 2.06 hits, runs, RBIs per game overall this year. A couple of really big games kind of skew those numbers, especially this one here back on April 18th versus Chicago, where he had 3 hits, 3 runs, and 6 RBIs. Definitely kind of increases that average. But he's been cashing the under pretty consistently all season long. Even in the head-to-head department, 2 of his last 3 matchups with the Texas Rangers, all coming from this season, the season opening series. He cashed the under, averaging 1 HRR per game. So pretty good numbers, all of it from this year as well. Looking down below at the key matchup stats, Trevor Story versus former Boston Red Sox Nathan Eovaldi. 4 plate appearances since 2018. He's got nothing except 1 plate. He got on base once, probably from a walk, but no hits, no runs, no RBIs, 0 batting average, 250 OBP. Small sample size, very small sample size, but it's something to look at. Trevor Story also has failed to exceed 1.5 HRRs in 4 of his last 5 games at Fenway Park, averaging just 1 HRR per game over his last 5 games at Fenway. And then looking down below, a little closer at the key matchup stats, Trevor Story this year not hitting the ball too terribly. 267 is not bad, but versus right-handed pitchers, you do see a steady decrease down to 236, which is not very good. His WRC plus drops to 68.8, again, not very good. And then Nathan Eovaldi's numbers, he's having a very solid year, but even better versus right-handed batters. His ERA drops, batting average drops, home runs per 9 is literally 0, WOBA 184. So he's already having a great year, but versus right-handed batters, he gets even better. So really good matchup across the board here. Story struggling versus right-handed pitchers, Eovaldi dominating versus right-handed batters, plus with Story cashing this under at a 55% hit rate on the year, 67% head-to-head. You get the gist, guys. Really solid player prop, and for minus 135, pretty good value. All right, guys, and our fourth and final player prop in today's video comes from the White Sox-Royals game, little division rivalry, if you want to really call it that. 7:40 p.m. first pitch. We got Seth Lugo of the Kansas City Royals, under 5.5 hits allowed. We're getting this one for minus 115 over on DraftKings, and to me, this is insane value for a player prop that I think is definitely going to hit. He's cashing in an 86% hit rate this year, 6 out of 7 games he's cashed the under, averaging 4.86 hits allowed per game this season. Only once versus the Yankees. Back on April 14th, he gave up 7 hits in that game. Aside from that, he's cashed the under in every game else this year. From a head-to-head standpoint as well, 2 of his last 3 matches with the White Sox, he's cashed the under. All 3 of these coming back last year, but pretty good track record. Minus that April 4th game where he gave up 8 hits allowed. in a game that the Royals still won 10-1. Lugo has had some pretty good success against his division rival. Looking down below, the insights provided by Outlier, Seth Lugo has failed to exceed 5.5 hits in 10 of his last 11 games dating back to last season, giving up just 4.1 hits allowed per game over his last 11 starts. And if all that didn't convince you, we're looking at one of the worst offensive teams in the league, 28th in batting average this year, 217. They're bottom 5 in all of these categories: strikeout percentage, BABIP, hard hit percentage. This is one of the worst offenses in the league, one of the worst teams in the league, carrying over from last year's historically bad season. This is not a good team. You have one of the better pitchers in the American League in Seth Lugo matching up with this White Sox offense. I think under 5.5 hits is a very good bet. Now, saying all this, watch him give up 9 hits against this White Sox offense. But I'm telling you, from everything that I see, this is a great, and from minus 115, to me, this should be like minus 150. We're getting really good value. Maybe I'm missing something that I don't see, but I love Seth Lugo in this spot. So that's our fourth and final player prop in today's slate. Guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. We'll be back tomorrow with another MLB player prop video, but until then, I hope you're all winners. Enjoy your Tuesday. Let's go ahead and make some money.